We got a tornado! It's coming this way!
Severe weather ripped through the eastern cities of Nebraska last night.
Almost a year after the devastating Elkhorn tornado, a new batch of tragedies hit residents in Douglas County last night.
We have all the details next on Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Tyler Moore.
And I'm Jackson Ingvoldstad. A round of severe weather pounded its way across the east central part of Nebraska yesterday evening, bringing hail, winds, and a few tornadoes.
Although the storm skipped over Lincoln, strong storms caused damage in Fremont, Bennington, and other areas in rural Douglas County, leaving 4 homes uninhabitable. The extent of the damage is still unknown as the National Weather Service continues to evaluate the areas affected by last night's storms. One of the 4 uninhabitable homes is near North 84th and Dutch Hall Road in rural Douglas County. Homeowner Joe Adams relived the experience from when the tornado hit.
No, I didn't see it come. I really wasn't looking for it. I was trying to get the weather back on the TV, and the power went out. We had been watching for the hail, and we were up to baseball-size hail just about, and I seen debris in the air, and it was me and my wife and the grandson and a couple dogs, and I just yelled to the basement. Like I said, we hit the bottom of the stairs, and the door hit us, and the next thing we saw was the sky.
In the aftermath of last night's storms, only one person, a volunteer firefighter, was injured. The injuries were minor and the firefighter received treatment. In total, 32 homes were damaged, including the 4 that were totally destroyed. As crews begin to clean up the area, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office warned potential looters from the area, saying there will be no warnings if they are caught on damaged properties.
I want to let everybody know that the Sheriff's Office, again, we'll have extra patrols in this area 24/7. We will not be giving any second chances here. If people come into this area looting, trying to steal from the victims in these situations, we will not be giving warnings. We will be arresting you and booking you. So please take this as a warning.
Joe Adams is among the many affected by last night's storms, almost 1 year since the devastating Elkhorn tornado. Damage can be seen all across the northern parts of Douglas County. Mike McKnight was on the scene shortly after the tornado tore through northern Douglas County and how many members of the community are reacting to the damage.
First, the golf ball-sized hail pounded the area. Then came the twister that Josh Havron saw passing close by.
It was twisting around right there, full of dirt, just like you see in the movies. Yeah, I ran down and just stood in the mechanical room for a minute, and when the ears got done popping, I knew it was done.
The tornado just missed the Airbnb he's renting, but the building next to it has been destroyed. Inside was a pickup and a home-based Amazon business packed full of merchandise that Kathy Peterson sells online.
This is what I did for the last 10 years, is build it all the way up to, and I don't think much of it is salvageable, so.
Kathy and her husband Mark own both houses on either side of the destroyed business. Neither home seemed to suffer severe damage, but a neighbor a mile west lost their house. The roof is completely gone. Fire crews warn of down lines, and you can see the path of the tornado. No reports of injuries, and the Petersons' dog rode out the storm on a deck just yards from the passing tornado.
I was in a bit of a panic because my dog, like I said, my dog was outside on the porch, and she lived through it. How is a blessing.
Ironically, Josh is renting the house while working for a damage restoration company from Minnesota. Little did he know he would be left with work to do so close to where he's living. Near 70th and Omaha Trace Road, Mike McKnight, First Alert 6.
We are now joined in the studio by Mike McKnight. Mike, great reporting, and thank you for joining us. It definitely looks like a very difficult scene out there.
It wasn't as devastating as the Elkhorn tornado, but it still packed a punch. In fact, I've got some breaking news. I've got the results of the survey from the National Weather Service. After these events, they sent out a team to try and measure what happened, and they come up with some very telling statistics here. Last night, that tornado that went through northern Douglas and southern Washington County was on the ground for 20 minutes. It was an EF tornado, which means damage, not total damage, but damage, severe damage, and the winds, 140 miles an hour. Wow. So that's why you saw that the destruction of that shed and garage. It just blew it away. And it was on the ground in that area for 8.3 miles. Basically, it followed right along the county line and went over the airport into Iowa. And the width of it, that's kind of interesting to me, is they measured the maximum width of the path of the tornado was 170 yards, which isn't very wide. And that's what kind of caught my eye last night when I was right at the scene, is you could just see where it cut. And though it was devastating for those 4 homeowners, it just seemed like it just hit those 4 right there. And there were homes very close. The one shed in my story, the business there, it split between 2 homes. So that's how these tornadoes sometimes react. It's just where you are. And for Mr. Adams, he just was in the wrong place at the wrong time with his house. It just happened to be where that path of that tornado was. And sometimes that's just the way these twisters go through. You just never know. But he did the right thing, getting down to the basement. And that's what people told me. The alert was so important. And a lot of times it's not the siren. People think it's the siren going off. But no, those are intended for people outside. If you're inside, you might not hear them. So that's why the most important alert in tornadoes is on your phone. Not only watching the app for, say, 6 alert, first alert 6 news, weather, but also you'll have an alert that comes out. And when you hear those, head to the basement, because the accuracy of the forecasting is very good, as you know. Right. And it pretty much, again, like last year, said it was coming. Sure enough, it hit.
So what's the media's role when it comes to, sharing these stories? I
think that afterwards, it's just part of the human aspect of it, the rebuilding of it. There's a lot of emotion there, a lot of trauma, but also there were a lot of good stories there to be told. The dog, that was a blessing. The woman I talked to, the owner, said, well, yes, we lost everything here in our business, but it can be rebuilt. So there's a lot of messages of hope afterwards. And I think that's very important to pass along to people, not only when the tornado is coming, but after it's hit.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mike. No severe weather is currently in the forecast for tonight, but it's always helpful to know what to do when the weather turns sour.
Nebraska Nightly meteorologist Dominic Ferraro explains how to prepare for when the skies become gray. Dominic?
Thank you, Jackson. Well, the best thing you can do is have a plan. So now, what we typically recommend as we start to look at the severe weather threat building, have a go bag. Make sure you have extra clothes. Closed-toed shoes is very important. A weather radio, extra chargers, batteries, bring some snacks, bottled water, any important documents you have as well, and of course a first aid kit. Now, as you make a plan going throughout the day, know where you're going to be, know where those storm shelters are, whether it's at home, at work, at school. Have a plan for those pets, like we mentioned in the package there. Have a way to receive alerts either from a news station or the National Weather Service, and be aware of the timing of when severe weather is going to hit your area. Now, where to shelter in the event of severe weather? Inside's the best place you can go, in the lowest level of a building. If there isn't a basement, you're going to put as many exterior walls between yourself and the outside world. You're going to want to avoid windows. So here, that closet is where you're going to want to go. Now, there's no threat of severe weather in the future, but we'll have the rest of that forecast coming up after the break.
Thank you, Dominic. For those who celebrate, Passover ends tomorrow, and Easter Sunday is this weekend, and lots of local places of worship will be holding events to celebrate. The Newman Center will have their usual Sunday services at 10 and 11:30 a.m., but will also be hosting an Easter Vigil tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. That will be directly followed up by an Easter party at 11 p.m. The University Lutheran Chapel is hosting an Easter Sunday service at 10:30 a.m., followed by a brunch. St. Mark's has a Good Friday service tonight from 7 to 8, a Holy Saturday service at 5 p.m., and will be hosting several Easter Sunday services starting at 8 a.m. If that's not enough for you, City Life will also be hosting a Good Friday service tonight at 5:30, as well as several Sunday services beginning at 8.
The UNL Faculty Senate is endorsing a mutual academic defense compact between Big Ten universities. The Rutgers Faculty Senate proposed the compact, and it's endorsed by other Big Ten universities. The resolution hopes to gather resources to fight legal, financial, and political challenges put on universities by the Trump administration. UNL Faculty Senate President Pete Eklund says the resolution will be on the agenda of all 18 Big Ten faculty governances.
Lincoln Transportation and Utilities announced the closure of multiple Lincoln streets for road work starting April 21st. Adams Street between 33rd and 36th, 27th Street between A and B Streets, Old Cheney from Highway 77 to Warlick Boulevard, and L Street from 14th and 16th Streets will all be closed. Closures will range anywhere from a couple days to a few months. Transportation and Utilities encourages travelers to find a different route and to be cautious in these areas. This was also met with a reminder that project dates are subject to change due to weather and unforeseen circumstances. For further information on what roads are closed, you are encouraged to visit lincolnne.gov/closures or through the Waze mobile app.
The streets aren't the only thing closing in Lincoln. The Lincoln Parks and Recreation Department closed the Rock Island Trail Bridge today. Renovations are part of an extension into Wilderness Park. Parks and Rec predicts the repairs will take around 1 week, expects to reopen the bridge next Friday. Trail users are encouraged to plan ahead and follow any on-site barriers around the bridge.
And still ahead, a look at your weekend weather forecast.
Plus, what we know so far about the shooting at Florida State University. Stick with us after the break.
Thank you.
Social media is a daily part of many college students' lives, something we've become used to, but it can also be overwhelming and draining. Studies show that taking regular breaks from social media reduces stress and improves mental health. Too much screen time has been proven to increase anxiety, while stepping away helps you reconnect with the world around you. Take a break. Protect your mental health.
The need for blood never stops. And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood. But imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. As we know, severe weather passed through the area yesterday. We wanted to take a look at some of the Storm Prediction Center storm reports across the region here. Those red dots, tornadoes, green, hail, wind is in blue, and the black dots indicates either high wind or large hail reports. As we see the northern dots here, that was the EF3 that went through Omaha and the Douglas County area. Then we had another brief touchdown just to the east of Lincoln that then tracked off into southwestern Iowa as well. No storm reports officially from the National Weather Service there on the intensity of that storm. Current conditions in the capital city, though, mostly cloudy after the events of last night. 55 degrees for that temperature right now. Breezy winds out of the north between 20 and 25 miles per hour. Now, current satellite imagery showing that cloud cover spanning mostly across the central part of the country here. Nice strong jet stream going today as we have an upper level wave working its way into the central part of the country. Closer to home here, as you can see, some of that lower level cloud cover starting to move down from the north. That's that cold front that we had come through. And then you can see more of the upper level clouds being carried by the jet stream here across the southeastern part of the state. Despite all that cloud cover, though, current radar right now mostly clear, picking up a stray maybe a cloud or two raindrop as we work our way into the evening hour here, but keeping things mostly clear right now. Statewide temperatures, though, much cooler than yesterday. We're looking close to 90 yesterday, 47 degrees in Ord, and Valentine as well, 46 in North Platte. Now, Scottsbluff, 40 degrees out there. They actually got 1.5 inches to 2 inches of snow yesterday. That keeps things a little cooler as you got to melt the snow off before you can really start to warm up there. Eastern side of the state, Norfolk looking to be 47, Omaha 56, and again 55 here in the capital city. Forecast for tonight will be mostly cloudy. Lows around to the upper 30s. Winds out of the north-northwest between 10 and 15 miles per hour. Could still see a gust up to 25. Definitely bring a jacket for any of those evening plans tonight. Sun returns tomorrow, Saturday, 62 degrees for that high temperature. Winds out of the northeast between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Could still see a gust up to 15, but looking to be a great start to our weekend here in the capital city. Now your 7-day forecast. We'll see a chance for showers on Sunday. We'll be cooler into the lower 50s for the high. Then to start the week on Monday, sun comes back out, low 70s for the high temperature. Then as you see, we'll notice kind of a theme here into the middle part of the week. Upper 70s here and then dropping down to the mid 70s, but sunny and a straight chance of a shower Tuesday through Thursday. Before then, we see that cloud cover returning again on Saturday. Mostly cloudy skies there on Friday. 71 degrees there for the high temperature. And looking to be mostly clear, definitely going to need the rain. So looking forward to that sunshine ahead once we get past the weekend here.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Yesterday's shooting at Florida State University killed 2 adults who were not students. The campus was placed on lockdown and students were evacuated until the all-clear was given. Today, students are speaking up about what they saw. Luke Dickey explains to CNN how he felt about the shooting.
It's just surreal, you know. It feels like it's in a horror movie. It should be out of a horror movie, you know. You just don't, things like this should not happen in real life. And just to see that this is what it takes to bring people together, to bring like flowers, places, to all be one. I mean, Florida State's already a united place, but it shouldn't take a shooting to make everyone feel more, you know, together.
FSU students continue to pay their respects to those who were killed in the shooting, along with the 6 who suffered wounds. They have been allowed back on campus to retrieve belongings, and a rally was held demanding action to reduce violence. Coming up next in sports, a Nebraska men's gymnast receives national recognition.
Plus, the Lincoln Stars begin their run in the Clark Cup playoffs, all after the break.
Many of the brands you love don't love animals like you do. Look at the labels of products you use for a bunny logo signifying they don't lab test on animals. Check the label for those who aren't able. Start making the shift by visiting crueltyfreekitty.com today.
Okay, so how about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about...
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Trey Marler. Nebraska baseball comes into the weekend riding back-to-back wins. The latest coming on Tuesday night over rival Creighton in Omaha. But in Big Ten play, they still find themselves on the outer half looking in on the Big Ten tournament bubble. That's what makes this home weekend series against Northwestern that much more important.
We did that very, very well in all 3 phases on Tuesday, resulted in a win. We know that doesn't guarantee anything for Friday, and you really just try to show up and do the same thing.
Just like a mentality thing, being in the box, making it personal, like it's you versus the pitcher. And you gotta get rid of all external factors. And
first pitch is set for 6 o'clock tonight at Haymarket Park, and tomorrow is now a doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock due to potential weather on Sunday. To Bowlin Stadium, where Nebraska softball gears up for a 2-game series with Indiana. The first matchup is tonight at 5 p.m. on Big Ten Plus. Game 2 will be tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Special night at the Dillon Tennis Center for Nebraska men's tennis as they host the USC Trojans. With a victory, the Huskers will clinch their first NCAA tournament berth in 14 years. The duel starts at 6 p.m. Central. Staying in the Olympic sports, the men's gymnastics Heisman Trophy is coming back to Lincoln. Taylor Kostopoulos is this year's recipient of the award. He becomes the 4th Nebraska gymnast to ever receive the honor and the first since 1988. Exciting news out of yesterday's football media availability when Matt Rhule announced a modified version of the Red-White spring game. The game will not feature any starters, but instead feature players competing for the final roster spots. For the players who don't make the cut at the end of spring, it'll be an opportunity for them to put reps on tape for future programs. All other previously scheduled events will take place as normal. Finally, we wrap up in the Icebox as Lincoln Stars begin their trek at a Clark Cup tonight versus the Sioux City Musketeers. The Stars finished the regular season as the best team in the USHL, winning their first Anderson Cup since 2003. But now a whole new season begins, and the focus for Lincoln is at an all-time high.
Same as the regular season, we're going to get everyone's A game and, really taking these couple of days with the bye to, tune up some things and be prepared for round one.
Obviously, the stakes are a little bit higher, and one mistake could end your season, but the guys have to play the same way they played all year.
Super busy weekend in Lincoln, guys. Got the Stars night. It's a whiteout. Apparently they're bringing in runs as the Icebox going all out for their #1 overall seed, and then also baseball and softball with 2 key Big Ten series all happening in Lincoln this weekend.
I mean, you got everything covered. You got that. You also got, tennis.
The men's gymnastics team advanced this morning. There's a whole lot going on in Lincoln right now.
Feels like it's
football,
fall. Got everything.
Husker games next Saturday, so it should be a whole lot of fun. So.
Yeah, definitely a lot to be excited about.
Absolutely, Tyler.
Great. Well, up next, a look at how much people are spending this Easter.
And one last check into weather right after the break.
As soon as I kicked one of my buddies in the head, I was like, yeah, we got to go after.
I take back what I said.
Hey, done for the day?
Yeah, just kind of maxed out on people.
Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Thanks for asking. I have been feeling just kind of off lately.
Do you want me to
Concerned about a friend? Just ask and refer them to counseling and psychological services at UNL.
On average, every Big Ten student wastes 112 pounds of garbage each year, but there's a fix. Make sure you use an Aussie when you dine in and be a part of the change.
Nearly 1 in 3 Husker students struggle with food insecurity. Husker Pantry addresses food insecurity and a welcoming space by providing free food and personal items to UNL students in need. Due to high demand, the pantry often runs out of essential items. Help keep the pantry stocked by donating the most needed items. From canned food to personal items and cleaning supplies, you can make a difference by donating. Learn how to donate by visiting pantry.unl.edu.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. Easter's on Sunday, a time for family and friends to gather and celebrate.
A report from the National Retail Federation predicts more spending this Easter season. Despite economic uncertainty, shoppers could spend at least $23 billion this Easter, more than $1 billion more than 2024.
The bulk of the spending is done on candy, which accounts for $3 billion in spending. Those chocolate eggs might cost more this year.
The price of cocoa has been rising for several years due to crop shortages from droughts.
You know, Jackson, I'm not the biggest fan of those chocolate eggs, but Peeps, I like those.
Dude, I don't know. I'm not that big of a fan. I like the chocolate eggs, but Peeps are a no-go for me.
Okay.
I don't rock with the marshmallows, but have you ever stuck a Peep in a microwave?
No, I have not.
Dude, that thing blows up. It's it's insane, but I don't like Peeps.
Okay, what about jelly beans?
I'm okay with
not
them.
for you.
That's sweet.
The skies have stayed relatively dry today, but I hear there's rain in the forecast for the weekend.
Nebraska Nightly meteorologist Dominic Ferraro returns with a final peek at your Easter weekend. Dominic?
Well, we'll stay dry tomorrow, high temperature of 62 degrees. Then Easter Sunday, 53 for that high. Mostly some showers throughout most of the afternoon there, so any Easter plans, definitely want to bring an umbrella to them. Then Monday, good start to the week there, 73 degrees for that high temperature, mostly sunny skies, so just got to get past that one rain bout there this end of the weekend, and then we're looking pretty good.
Sweet. You guys got any?
Would like to add, there's with that rain coming on Sunday, that Nebraska baseball game with Northwestern has been moved to a doubleheader tomorrow, starting at 1 o'clock. So no baseball on Sunday. Gives Jackson a full day to put as many Peeps in the microwave.
Yes, absolutely. You guys got any Easter plans for this weekend?
Just traveling, hanging out with family should be a lot of fun. So
I'm just gonna have some dinner with some friends, so it should be nice.
Absolutely, hang out with some family as well. I'm with you there. I'm not a Peeps fan though, but those chocolate eggs, that's what gets me.
That's where it's at every time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have all the microplastics you want. Those things are good. Cool. Well, thank you for tuning in to Nebraska Nightly.
You can find us on X and Instagram at Nebraska Nightly.
Tune in for our Monday show on Nebraska Nightly, our sports update at 4:30 p.m., and then for our live show on Tuesday at 4:45 p.m.
Have a good weekend and a happy Easter.
Nightly is a production of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.